It's important for dementia residents to be reminded to reminisce, because it activates cognition, it establishes connection, and it builds self-confidence. And all of these are very important factors for a person with dementia, because so easily self-confidence is eroded. Oftentimes a person will come in and ask you, what did you have for lunch? And of course you can't remember because you've got no present memory. And if that person isn't insightful enough or aware enough to know that indeed, yes, you do have a past memory and you can think through your intelligence or intellect, but no, you haven't got a present memory. If they're not aware of those things, they often think, oh, the person can't think at all. There's nothing there. There's no cognition. And they give up on you. And this can be a tremendous dent on your self-confidence. And to be able to establish that back and build that back really does take time. And through reminiscing on the past, it is a good way to start. So there's many ways that this can be done. Photograph albums are great because they've got all the data there, haven't they, of the history of the person. And if you, say, are the daughter or the son, and you've been there in many of those photos as a child, building sandcastles at the beach or sitting under the Christmas tree, opening presents or whatever, then you can discuss those scenes in that photograph. You were there, you may or may not remember it, but your parent with dementia will, and they can fill you in on the details, and it's good for history for you as well. It's interesting to be able to know your history and all the details of what you did as a child that you may not have known otherwise. So what actually needs to happen is that discuss with your parent, your relative, discuss with them as you would the present, but in the past. So rather than discussing the present, really it's a waste of time, because the person won't remember and they just get embarrassed and uncomfortable and uptight being reminded that they've got that loss. So just click into talking about the past. Bring activities related to the past, things reminiscing value that you've got at home, like there could be awards or photographs or framed articles of some reminiscing value. There's always something around the home reminiscent of the past life of the person. If they've been to war, they'll have some medals from that. If they've been a school teacher, they'll have certificates, awards from here and there. So bring those in, and the photograph albums at different times. Go through these step by step. Now, it's always better really to just focus on one topic, even just one photograph. If you've got a beautiful photograph at home of the children playing in the sand at Sumner and the parents all sitting around having a picnic at Christmas time, very common activity in New Zealand in summer, you could speak for a long time about that, about the beach and the weather and the sunshine and the children. And if your parent doesn't remember the names of the children, of course, remind them of that. You can get little stickers and put the names of the children underneath the photo so they get recognition. And it's just a whole familiarization activity for the parent with dementia. And also, there's often little treats and treasures of information that you didn't know about that they'll come up with. So this is the way to be able to get the cognition going initially with past memory. Memory books, memorabilia, articles from newspaper, magazines, etc. Now, once this is all done and mum's, thinking well and communicating and enjoying herself and feeling relaxed, then you can start at that point, because the cognition's whirring and it's positive and it's quality filled information. She's comfortable and relaxed with you. It's a lovely day. Everything's going well. It's a good day for her. That is the time where you can start clicking into engagement through the intellect. So there needs to be focus and concentration for that. So away from the mind, pathway through focus and concentration through the intellect. Now, which is all about reasoning and understanding. Now, if you want to discuss something with your parent, or you think you'd like to get their opinion, but you're not sure whether they can give it, whether they have the capacity to give it a go. You may well be surprised what they come up with. Give them the history, give them the background. Say it's a relationship problem, and your partner, who your parent did know before they were diagnosed with dementia. So there's past history, past memory there on that. So fill them in on all the information of the stresses you've been having, and then just see if they come up with any response to that. They may well say, well, maybe it's time, dear, to, move on, or you've always loved each other, so just try harder, or, you need to give it a go and put a bit more effort in, or whatever it is. This generation were wonderful effort makers in their relationships, in life, in work, and with their family. They always gave everything, their all. And it's good to actually get that wisdom from them, that strength, those values, because it does give you strength. When someone has been through a tough life and come through, with shining colours, in a sense of having managed to bring up their family, through hard times, working at a tough job for much of their life, maybe a solo parent, all of that effort that they've put in is still in their character. And when they give their wisdom to you, that will come over to you with that strength, and that can give you insight and inspiration. So if you can click into your parent with all that knowledge and wisdom and experience there, and inform them of your situation, just see if they can give you an answer. Now, look, it might not be the right day, it might not be the right time. You might have to, repeat the equation or the situation a few times. But often you'll find on the right day, you'll get that pearl of an answer, which is just what you needed to hear. And anyway, it's good to be able to chat away to your parent. I mean, if they're not understanding half the time, never mind, just bypass it. But there may well be that day where they do understand well, and you can get some insight and knowledge that you wouldn't have otherwise gained. So I've written about these topics at length in the 2 books, The Resident's Voice and The Resident's Rise, both on Amazon and my website, pietavalentine.com. So everything you need to know for a person coming into a dementia unit, a relative, a friend, is in this book, The Resident's Voice. Everything you need to know to help a person in a dementia unit who's there and established and living there is this book, The Resident's Rise. So they're companion books, 2 books, and they're really all the bases are covered pretty much. And it's good reading. It's really is good to get them and read them, because there's so much that you need to know to effectively manage with someone in a dementia unit, both for yourself and for the other person. So if you can read these, you'll be up to speed, and it will be less pressure trying to work out, once the person goes in, what on earth you're meant to be doing, or who's who and what's what. Now, thank you very much for your looks and your likes. Please transfer the links, and thank you for your support very much. Thank you.